choice whether you want to exit or stay. Today I will be giving you some tingles, but I am doing a check-in video, so this is primarily a life update, and I have several randomized items that are laying around near me that I'm just going to use as I speak. But the content of this update, some of it may be disturbing to others, some of it a little bit dramatic. We all love the tea, but I know many of you just love the tingles, so feel free to exit at any time. And of course I'll give a trigger warning, but ultimately I will be speaking on different topics today. So my last life update, I used to primarily keep my videos about my life and things that happened over on our side channel, which is Karuna Satori Basic. But due to the situation that many of you are involved in, my cat who had passed away and his preservation, and the GoFundMe that so many of you had raised well over $6,000, which I am so ever present and so ever full of gratitude for. I'd like to give you an update on him as well, which next time you hear about him after this video, he will be back in my arms again, which I'm so grateful. So I thought I'd keep this strictly kind of on this channel just for this time. So why don't we start off with just a basic life update, and I want to discuss some things that happened. I know that I've gotten several questions on an update on the man who stalks me. So for those of you who aren't aware, I have had a real life stalker since 2015. Many of you can look in my description, all of my descriptions of my videos since 2023. I made a playlist, it's called the Johnny Klanchar Files, and you can go and catch yourself up on how this all happened and everything like that. And the most recent update I have is after the PFA kind of went, it's up, like it's no longer active. He completely has stopped bothering me, which I am so grateful for. And also his name recently came up because if it weren't for that man, and no, this is not giving him any gratitude or thanks, but I feel it deserves a mention because I discussed this before. I would have never had my soul cat if it weren't for him and the woman who primarily started all of this, which her name is Megan, which he was also right about, but he has left me alone. I am so thankful for that. He is dealing with his own thing. He's running for, I guess, city council. He's doing all kinds of politics, which we all love, how corrupt people just, either the elderly in their hundreds or corruption, just get them in politics now. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily have an update other than he has left me alone. It has come to my attention he thought that I had sent him a bag of gummy phalluses or whatever you call it. I did not. In fact, somebody had sent something to my address as well, and I'm not part of that, so I want nothing to do with that, and I wanted to get that out of the way, because if I can have him leave me alone, then I don't have to report on it. Does that make sense? Moving on, both of my kids just started 6th and 7th grade, and we're going to be starting off strong with an extremely disturbing situation that happened. This happened just yesterday, and I had actually already filmed an update video. However, I'm missing context for a lot of the things, so I figured scratch it, I'll just do another one. This is a trigger warning that everybody, especially my beautiful, absolutely precious and protected trans community, I absolutely do not want any negativity if you're watching this. person. I am a Facebook person. I've been on Facebook since the dawn of time, since the internet created Facebook, MySpace, all of that. Social media has been me forever. So every single year since my kids were in preschool, I have posted their photos. And I'm going to just kind of get a few triggers and kind of start here at 6 minutes. Every year I post, again, my kids' photos, just their school photos, and this year I had posted both Odin and Satori, and the caption of that post was, "First day of junior high school for my son Odin, and last day of elementary school," I said day, elementary school for my daughter Satori. I have always, since the dawn of their lives, been told they look like twins. They are 1 year apart, and they are identical. They look equal to myself and my kid's dad. Literal carbon copies. Well, yesterday or the day before, because this happened, but yesterday I found out. I was just online all day, and I'm laughing about it now because of the lack of notification that this was going on. I'm like posting memes all day, having such a good old time on the internet. Meanwhile, all hell is breaking loose on Facebook. Yesterday morning I wake up and there's no notification on Facebook except a laugh react on a post of a mother who commented under my kid's post. So usually I get a few hundred, 300 to 400 likes on my posts. And a lot of people will share their experiences if I post certain things. And for the kids' first day, a lot of people were posting their own kids and saying my kid just started second or third. Well, one woman had posted that her daughter had started the cadets. She was a cadet. And I saw a laugh react on it. I clicked on the notification and I was so confused because there was a thread of comments. Absolutely hateful, disrespectful, nasty comments under this, and I'm thinking, what in God's name? This has never happened, right? So I click view post, and it takes me to the post of my kids, and I scroll down, and I see there are well over 900 reactions to this post, and I am like, what in the hell? Because most of it was like and care and heart reacts, but then I clicked on the like and I thought they were bots, and there was over 30 laugh reacts, and I'm thinking this is just a post of my children. So it's coming up. Follow for the build up. Well, I click most recent or all comments on the post. And I see some of the most vile, disgusting, disrespectful, bottom of the barrel, nasty comments I have ever seen in my entire life. Judging my children, commenting how disgusting they look, how just the most vile things. And there's a reason for this. At first I'm like, what is going on? I clicked on the single photos because it's a post, so there's 2 photos in the post. I clicked the photo of my son. There's just regular comments. I clicked the photo of my daughter. There's like 45 to 50, well no, there was like 35 to 40 comments of just vicious, nasty, evil comments commenting on her looks. So, I'm so confused and so angry that, you know, when you get adrenaline in you, you can't think straight. It's just complete fight or flight. So I'm reading these comments, clicking on these people's profiles. is all rapidly happening. It was happening the day before, but it was also happening as I was clicking on everything. And it was hundreds of comments, comment after comment after comment after comment. So finally, I click most relevant on the post. You can see all of the top comments. And I came across one specifically, and it said something along the lines of, "Wait guys, this is 2 different children." And this is why I said trigger warning for the trans community. This is a safe space here, but apparently Facebook, we should have known, is not. I put 2 and 2 together. I went to my kid's dad. I was like freaking out, crying. I'm like, what is going on? And we start to scan the post, and I'm calming down, taking breaths, trying to understand what's going on. And we figure it out. Somebody thought that my 2 children looked so alike. Somebody had taken that post and posted it in an anti-trans group. Somebody had thought that my son looked so similar to my daughter that they thought that he had transitioned into my daughter, and they were just saving all of this hate, thinking it was one person. And you know how vile this gets is the fact that as you scroll down to the most recent, after all of this hate, you start seeing this hate starts, as I'm looking at it, this is happening. It's turning into, once again, positivity. "We love your Weezer shirt, Satori. We love your blue hair. You look like such a cool kid." And you find out somebody had realized, that they were mistaken. And she is not one person, she's just Satori. And they start being positive again. So they saved all of this hatred, thinking that my daughter, or my son, had transitioned into my daughter and thought that she was trans. So you saved all of this hate just because you thought that my child was trans, just because my child thinking she was a trans kid. And then backtracking on top of that, once you find out they're 2 separate children, and then you start complimenting her. So basically all of your hate was simply saved just because you thought that child was different from your societal norms and what you were raised with and what you think is right. And not only that, we came across comments, very pedophilic comments, 2 of them specifically. And I'm in tears by this point because, put my kids aside, it's just the fact that this was posted in an either trans or I hate liberals group. And the reason I know that is because you go on Instagram, there are pages after pages after groups after groups. I was so disgusted. And again, put my kids aside, it's just the fact, the simple thing is they were trans, identified as a different gender, which both my kids don't, but even if they did, you saved all of that hate for my children. It makes me physically sick. I privated that post so quickly, it's not even funny. Listen, there are Twitter posts of me not going along when someone identified as a wolf, right? But I am absolutely not concerned with you or anybody else's genitalia. And it seems that these people were so concerned about the genitals that my child had with no context. And that alone shows where the actual mental illness lies. It's not in the trans community. It's literally in the people obsessed with other people living their lives and does Facebook. I do have a following over there of over 20,000, but most of the people who are interactive either follow our YouTube channel and are familiar with the consent of my children, or are their teachers, are in real life neighbors or friends, our family, extended family. And I guess nobody, like there were a few that were trying to stand up for the kids in the comments, and then these people, like I said, are backtracking and they're apologizing and saying positive things about my kids. I could not believe the absolute ever-loving that was happening. I privated the post, and I don't think I'm ever going to be posting them again, just on that platform strictly because, first of all, think of it this way. There are videos out there, shorts, of my daughter and I. She wanted to do the trauma dumping candy bowl. Out of the almost 1 million views on TikTok and YouTube shorts, not one negative comment about her looks, and her hair was pure red at the time. She always had that like punk rock, even genderless, more masculine type look about her because that's what she wants. So obviously this was like a laugh, react, or comment bombing group. I could not believe this. I went on Facebook Live over it, talking about the situation. And when I go live, that's saying something because I never go live, ever. So that happened yesterday. Like I said, there have been Twitter posts of me not going along because somebody had attacked me, and in their bio, I identify as a wolf, and it wasn't a joke, and I was like, I am not validating this for you, especially after you are being this way to me. And, you know, because of that, people had thought, well, you're this or you're that. No, I'm not. I have never been like that, and I never will. And I don't support anybody who wants to come for somebody because of who they want to be, unless it's which is a whole separate thing. And there were 2 of those comments on that post, which, calling my daughter, saying that they would. It makes me sick. It makes me sick talking about it. It makes me sick. She's 11. She's 11. But moving on from that situation, speaking of my kids, again, they're going in 6th and 7th grade, and I'd like to hear from you guys down in the comments. How does your schools work? For example, how my kids' school works is my son's technically in junior high school right now. When I grew up, we had K to 5, and then we had the middle school. It was 3 separate buildings, 6 to 9, or 6 to 8, and then 9 to 12. My sons go straight from 7 to 12. May I? So, they are so happy my son just joined his first club, which, as many of you know, my son is on the spectrum. He's high-functioning autistic. I would like to ask a question about proper usage. Somebody a long time ago, not long ago, had commented down on a video, and they said they were autistic as well, but they told me how to refer to my son, and I don't think I'm saying it correctly. I'm identifying him as somebody with autism, but this person had helped me, and I'm gonna be honest, I forgot. If you could re-comment how to talk about a person with autism. Do I say it like that, or do I say they are autistic? I'm not certain. I'd like to learn, right? So, my son joined his very first club. I am so proud we drive to this gas station. It's called Sheetz. It's the best gas station. In fact, All American Rejects just did a pop-up show at Sheetz in Pittsburgh, PA, which is like an hour away from us, depending. And we get there, and my kid's dad gets out of the car, and this guy like bum rushes him. Like this guy. I was gonna say something, but it doesn't. That's not a way to identify somebody with hair. And he runs up to my kid's dad, and he's like, "Are you Karuna Daniel's husband?" And his name's Vic, my kid's dad, and Vic's like, no, I'm not." And he's like, "Yes, you are." He's like, "You used to have a beard, but you don't." And he's like, "No, I'm not." And he proceeds to try to walk around him, because at first, somebody approaches you and just asks that, especially with what my kid's dad has done in the past. Yeah, he has a right. He has a right, and I don't blame him, because I stand up for me too with the things that have been seen. But anyway, that's a whole different story time. Finally, the guy looks over at me, and I was a passenger because my kid's dad just got a new car. So I drove with him to the gas station, even though I like to be the person to drive, which will lead me into my next kind of update. And he's like, Karuna, and he runs over. I'm like, this guy kind of looks familiar, but I don't know. And he's like, "I know your brother." And I was like, oh. And I put two and two together. And I met him a long time ago. He knows my brother, and my brother's awful. He's the awful person in our town. And we get to talking. This guy's trashed. He's just straight up public drinking and everything. And he, luckily I don't think this man was driving. We could not see a car in the parking lot because it was 8:30 or 9, and the Sheetz is kind of hidden at the end of our borough. So you kind of have to drive out of the way just a little bit, maybe half a mile to get there. And for 30 minutes, this guy is talking about how his son is the head of the football team and is in 8th grade. And he's drunk. And he's insulting his kid. And I'm like, no man, we're not doing that. I'm not sitting here and tolerating you. Because he was saying that my son doesn't like sports. So my son joined a club with forensics and STEM, he likes to code, right? And they go and they participate in different competitions and things in the school. And this guy is like, "Yeah, my son's the head of the football team, but he's an idiot." And I'm like, it's so out of pocket. All my life, these wild situations just happen to me. Meanwhile, this guy's leaning in the car window, and who pulls up next to him? My old boss from when I was 15 years old. This guy I was madly in love with is a 15-year-old. The guy never did anything. Even after I was 18, he never did anything, thank God. But there's a story with that, which is why I had to preface that. And I sound like that person who's my family changed from Catholic to Jehovah. We were Jehovah. My mother's teasing her hair. This is how I sound. I'm yeah, 15-year-olds. No. And this drunk guy leans back and is talking to him, and I'm I do not want to see this man. And I'm no, not him. Do not talk about him. Meanwhile, my kid's dad's in Sheetz and doesn't know, because he walked away from him, and doesn't know that he's talking to me. And when he came out, then he's oh great, got in the car, and we're just talking to this guy. It is storming out, right? It's starting to storm. And he's "Listen, I'm not trying to be an ass, but will you get out of the car and sit with me for a couple minutes?" And I'm okay, we'll just get out. We'll talk for a little bit, and we'll leave. So even though they have umbrellas, they're metal umbrellas and tables around the gas station, there's still holes, right? So there's it's starting to rain. It starts just torrential downpouring, thundering, lightning, and this guy's just slobbering everywhere. And he's so passive aggressive. He's insulting my kid's dad and telling him he's thin, and he's yeah, you're built, but I could do this. And I'm like, man, there's about fix that. So right now we have this little kitty cat. Anyway, so finally I kick my kid's dad's knee under the table. I'm like, I want out of here. This is so embarrassing because of my old boss. Oh my god, I have so many stories that I want to tell, but this is like an update video, so let's get back into it. So anyway, we finally get out of there, and this guy's just sitting back at the table, like, downing, like, liquor, and like I said, there was no other cars, so he couldn't have been driving unless this man, like, got out of his car, like, 3 years up the road. Let's talk about something a little bit serious, which I'm not really public about. I've spoken about it before, but I'll kind of do this, talk a little bit about, like, an update with my kid's dad. I want to show you guys 2 of my new tattoos, and then, what was the last thing? Oh, talk about Munchkin last. So, I have a genuine thing to tell all of you, and I don't think that many of you knew how serious this was. That is my daughter's bus getting home in the background. And I'm almost done anyway. I am going blind. You may have been able to tell this already, and you're probably thinking you're probably already blind. Yes, I am legally blind, but I'm going to get up close to the camera, and I want you maybe to pause and notice if you can see anything. When I open my eyes, probably not because of the lighting, but one of my eyes, my left one, is darker than my right one. You can see it in mostly any other photo. Maybe the lighting is just making it look equal. Alright, we're forgetting the ASMR here. We got to do some tingles. About 5 or 6 years ago, I went for a routine checkup at my ophthalmologist, however you pronounce it, optometrist's appointment, to get new glasses. And they had this new technology that everywhere started a while ago, where they took a picture of the back of the eye. I posted it on Facebook around that time too, because I didn't know, and there was a giant black spot. It's more prominent in my left, but it's also in my right. And I remember her saying we just needed to watch for it. So 2 years ago, fast forward, I started getting really blurry vision in my left eye. But when they would do a vision test and everything else, it all came back normal other than that spot getting bigger. So nobody knew what it was. So I got referred out to the West Virginia University Eye Institute, in West Virginia. And fantastic doctor. She had the most, oh my god, I loved her accent. She's, I think, what was the accent? Anyway, it was like Czech or anything like that. I think something, please, I do not know, but it sounded like it was so thick. I loved it. Anyway, and she's really hard to understand. Anyway, they put these wires inside my eyes, like in the eyelids. They put stickies on my eyeball, and we found out when shown different patterns, my eyes start to seize, like every once in a while in videos. You can see my eyes like have a small little seizure. It's like this. It'll go like, but extremely quickly. So I was diagnosed then. Oh geez, we don't want this. I was diagnosed then with a condition called bullseye maculopathy and cone rod dystrophy of the CDHR1 variant in documents only. Okay, there could be hundreds of thousands of people that have this condition. I am one of 5 people documented in the world that has this variant. Okay, I showed proof of these papers because, of course, somebody was like, she thinks she's special. Yes, I'm special because I'm going blind. Very special. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Anyway. I got bullseye maculopathy. Usually happens if it's inherited or from medication toxicity, such as hydroxychloroquine for patients with lupus. I just wiped Christmas, December 2024. I woke up a week after Christmas, and I had only three black spots in my eyes, right? I was horrified. I have never heard of this in my life. I don't know where it came from, what it is. I thought that I had what's called wet macular degeneration. So, finally, I call the eye doctor, and they refer me immediately over to our local, which is interesting because Johnstown, PA, where I'm from, has this eye institute, or like eye place, and the rest of them are like really big places. So for some reason our little town has it. It's an eye specialist. I went in, they did a fluorescent test, which is where they inject your veins with fluorescent. It's not iodine, it's like a light or something that lightens up the eyes, and they thought or said that I had wet macular degeneration, which is a symptom of my variant. It's where scar tissue grows up into the eye and causes what's called scotomas, which are blind spots, which are the black spots that I was seeing. Well, these black spots were small, and they did an injection in my eye and sent me on my way. The spots didn't go away, and lo and behold, I'm just kidding, I went back and they had found out that the cones and rods in my eyes are dying, especially in the left eye. It's happening in the right, but not as fast. I still have good vision in my right eye as we speak. So today, like whatever month this is, August, because I'm waiting for Munchkin, so everything else is a blur. I get, let's see what else. I get I wake up and I find out that, unfortunately for me, I wake up one morning, Jesus, I cannot get this out, and these spots have grown at a massive size. So what this condition eventually will do, it will completely eat up all of my central vision. So I will not have any central vision. I will not be able to see directly in front of me. The variant that I have is right in between Stargardt's disease and retinitis pigmentosa, if I'm pronouncing that right. Retinitis pigmentosa. And my variant with symptoms falls on the side of Stargardt's. So I eventually will lose all of my central, and I will keep my peripheral right. However, I woke up recently, and these blind spots have become 3 times the size, and there's a 4th one growing on the top. So now I'm waiting to go back in 3 more weeks, and they're going to do another fluorescent test, and hopefully I won't have to have another injection. But the good news is, and when I say blind, I'll get to that in a minute, there is a new gene therapy available. Well, it just got put into the FDA. It's called the CD 011010 or 0110, and it's a gene therapy. It's one injection, and it's supposed to fix the blind spot in my eye, in my blind spots in my left eye. Like, it primarily fixes blindness, like scotomas. So there's real blindness where there's just no vision, and then there's the scotomas. So now that these blind spots have gotten bigger, they've turned from black to nothingness. There is nothing in these spots. If I close my right eye and I'm looking in my viewfinder, I'm missing my face right on the right side, which would be your left. Down here at the chin, right up here by my eyebrow, and then another one right down here by the microphone. Nothingness. It is terrifying, and what I meant by pure blindness is, at first I was told, well, you'll keep your peripheral. Now the scotomas are eating into the peripheral, and I'm pretty much almost blind in my left eye. Truly nothingness. There is no residual, like there's residual vision right now, but it's just progressively getting worse. With my disorder, I'm supposed to, this is supposed to develop over years, right? But with mine, for some reason, it is happening rapidly, like within weeks to months. And the problem with that is the fact that you're supposed to be able to get injections to fix it. Sorry, I was looking. And with me, it's not working. Like, the first injection didn't work. So hopefully next time they're going to try a second one, depending on the fluorescent test. So, and with my condition, there's not enough documentation or not enough research. So if this gene therapy goes through, it can help the symptoms of my disease or whatever. However, it won't fix what bullseye maculopathy and my cone rod dystrophy is. So we can treat the symptoms, which is save my central vision, hopefully, if the FDA approves this treatment. But if not, I'm just going to go blind fully in my left eye, and eventually my right eye will catch up. Or maybe I'll hold on to my right eye vision, but I can already start to see scotomas form. Anyway, so there's that's happening. This is a very awful situation. I don't talk about it because it's caused a lot of stress for me, a lot of trauma, a lot of fear for my future. What am I going to, people adapt, people go blind, unfortunately, every day. There are people who are functioning in society. I know several creators who are blind. However, I'm 34. I wasn't born blind. I didn't go blind 5 years ago, 1 year ago. All of this is new to me. I'm starting to take classes online, how to use my peripheral vision, like where you look a little bit off to the side, and I'm still looking at you technically like up here, but it's eating into my peripheral as well. So at this point, chances are full blindness eventually. And at the rate that it's going, I don't know how soon that's going to be, but not good. So then, let's get into something positive now with the life update, and then we'll finish off like a little bit. I'm trying to keep this under an hour. I did get 2 tattoos. New tattoos, and I'm going to show you the good one first, which, thank you so much, Drew Bainey is a close friend of mine. He runs Kings Road Tattoo in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and I had him do Munchkin's eyes, and as you can tell, I'm running out of real estate on my arms, and I wanted to still see Munchkin, so I got him, and he did so good. He did so fantastic. It looks just like Munchkin. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know why I put my hair back for that. That didn't make any sense. But, it looks so beautiful, and I am so pleased with it. And I can look down. I look down all day, every day at it, because now that the swelling's down, it kind of goes off the arm a little bit, but it is so pretty, and it looks just like him. I'm trying to hold it up to show you guys. And I want to discuss the second tattoo, but I'm going to tell you about my kid's dad first. I have been trying to get out of the relationship with my kid's dad for years now. Many of you know the situation. Many of you who follow different social medias, you've seen the things he's done. He's shattered my cabinet. He's threatened me. He was 5150 2 years ago. These things are all things I have discussed. I've posted multiple audios. Vicious, awful things this man has done to me. He's lied to police officers. He's put our family in danger and me in danger. And then there's the begging. And then and I don't want to hear about this. I really don't. And the reason I say I guess I don't want to hear about it is because I don't want reminded of what I'm already trying to escape. understand why he still lives at home, in my home, that I own the mortgage to, but in the state of Pennsylvania, he has rights. If you've been at a residence for longer than 6 months in the state of PA, you hold residency there. So it doesn't matter that my name is on the mortgage. In fact, I just had to call Geico because I guess when my kid's dad got his new car, since we were doing good, he called and bundled our insurance and put it under my bank account. And I got charged over $400 when my insurance every like 2 or 3 months is only $160 for full coverage with, I know it's high, but $1,000 deductible. He goes and bundles his and I's car insurance and expected me not to find out and not to pay for it. That's $400. Imagine just waking up and $400 is taken out of your bank account. I snapped. Right? So I just got on the phone with Geico and I'm like, get this MF off my insurance now. And I had to talk to like somebody in the high ups because like they were like, well, you guys are married, so technically he has every right. I was like, you guys never got my consent to bundle. I was like, you're putting my car on, and this guy's like profusely apologizing because they had both of them on the call, and the lady on the top, like I guess his supervisor's like, no, we cannot do that without consent. Like, we don't know how. We're like, so sorry. So they took that charge off and then put it towards like the next payment. So I was pissed. So Vic has rights. That's just how it is. There's like a mosquito in here for some reason. For some reason, as if like I'm not in the woods. Anyway. So I have been trying, right? But then if you've been in an abusive relationship, you already know it gets good, and there's the sorries and there's the I'll change and things are gonna be better. And last year's situation, what happened after the beach, the man got 5150 because he went crazy after lying to the police. My kids were not home for that. Please do not comment some things like, oh, these poor children. The good news is most of it has been kept away from them. However, kids unfortunately being exposed to that is awful. It's awful. But things get good, and I'm gonna change, I'm gonna be better. I'll get an apartment soon. Please just let me work and get my car and get this, right? So when things are good, we get taken, or he's like, let's all go to the beach. We're gonna have such a good family vacation. And it was. But then, as you know, change doesn't always stick for narcissists, and it's usually just a phase to get me to shut the fuck up. So, and I was already, I guess, in debt to him for after Munchkin passed. He took care of everything with the freeze drying in regards to getting his body put in the freezer, which I hate talking about this, preparing his body for transport, renting the car with the GoFundMe, like things that I didn't want to deal with, which all of that proof is on the GoFundMe. You want to see it? Because I promised raising that much money and not showing where it went. Yeah, you better. So all of that over there if you're interested. You know, I always said when I was finally almost out, I always said, I was like, I'm going to escape my mother, which I did. She's gone. And I said to him, I'm like, someday I will escape you. But I'm still there. I'm still trying, right? But as I was trying to say earlier, things are good. And here's my jellyfish tattoo. It's vibrant, it's pretty, but it's still healing. And Vic got a jellyfish too. And you can put 2 and 2 together, but his is a lot bigger and a lot more prominent. It's right on his arm. And it just sucks because, when things are good and you're so stressed out in life from other things, you just go along with it, you accept it, you hope that it's normal or normalcy. And you see the kids happy and you see them so, just grateful to be all together. And then, unfortunately, fantastic father, but when I asked for space in the past, I never was granted that. I was never given the space, but yet he's allowed to get anything that he wants. He's put us through a lot, but then, like I said, he goes and tries to make up for it. Like when Munchkin died, he took care of all of it. I was so grateful not to have to handle his body. I was so grateful because of how painful it was to lose him. And like I said, the last update you saw of me checking in was me bawling my eyes out, talking about how I still miss him, and I still do every day, all day. But one thing that's interesting about Munchkin that I've found since he's passed away, it's almost like Munchkin intentionally, now listen, alright, this is the last thing, like I said, I want to keep this under an hour. I never really believed in an afterlife. I just am skeptical about everything. I'm very, I don't believe anything ever because of anything ever, right? I'm the most, cynical. I'm just never believing anything. However, when my dad died, after my dad died, I randomly, because of YouTube, became wildly successful in regards to somebody who was just doing awful, right? And I always believed that that was my father leaving me in comfort or with a plan. Does that make sense? When Munchkin died, I was so lonely for the first couple weeks, just so lonely. But during those weeks, I believe he sent me that stray cat that I talked about in other videos. The raccoons and the possum, these animals were never on my back porch. So I'm up at night. My kids go to bed either for school or just going to bed. My kid's dad's in bed and I don't hang out with him anyway. That's why we don't live in the same room. We just live in the same house and he destroys it. So I'm up from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. and it's lonely at night. And right before Munchkin passed away, right before, unfortunately, he was euthanized, this stray cat out of nowhere just started coming to our back porch. I have tried to domesticate this damn animal. I need to get it to the vet, but it will not let me get it. It just won't, right? It'll let me pet it. It'll let me feed it. But the moment I go to pick this cat up, this cat is like death. Like, it is like... So as I was saying, I don't really believe in anything, but it's just weird because a week before Munchkin passed, this cat started coming to my porch, my back porch, and it likes me. It likes the other, but it primarily only wants me. It's gray like Munchkin. It has green eyes like Munchkin, and it's old, and I feed it. And at nighttime, it only comes, well, it comes in the daytime too sometimes, but primarily at night. It'll come and just keep me company. It stays on the porch. So after this stray comes, these raccoons start showing up, and I am Snow White. Literally, I am the white girl who risks getting rabies to pet a wild animal. I didn't train anything, but I have these raccoons now eating out of my hand. Imagine being proud of almost dying. But yeah, so I did I started feeding, I don't know, I was gonna say something else. I started feeding these animals, and this possum then started coming to the porch. And I believe when Munchkin passed, I don't know, he sent me some animals not to be so lonely, because it is so hard to accept the fact that Munchkin's gone, and even though I'm gonna get his body back soon, I still trick myself a little bit, and I'm like, no, it's gonna be him again, he's gonna wake up or something, and I know that that's irrational, but okay, we're doing good, we need to not. But I really believe that when Munchkin left, he sent me these animals not to be so lonely at night. Yeah, so with that being said, I said I don't really believe in anything, but when my dad died, it was weird because I think that he knew my life before when he died, and I think think he worked something out, maybe with like my higher whoever, to like help me be successful. And I think Munchkin, I think he made sure that I wasn't alone, because I said that I wasn't going to get another cat ever, because how painful it is that I lost Munchkin. Like trying to do ASMR and not die at the same time. I don't ever want another cat, ever. There was only one Munchkin. There was only one. I could never have one. So, as I said, I believe maybe he left me some wild animals to take care of. Because like I said, these animals just started coming up when, no, don't. My makeup is good today. I did really good on my makeup today. What was I saying? Oh, because these animals like popped up out of nowhere, man. Anyway, let me kind of end this. The last update with Munchkin. I think I've mentioned this before, that there is $1,500 left out of the $6,000 GoFundMe. You can see where all of that money went on the GoFundMe. As far as the $4,000 it cost for Munchkin with his VIP, with the his single dryer, with his freeze-dried heart, with his remains, in regards to getting his ashes and organs. So I will have a whole separate video when we go to pick him up, educating you guys on how freeze drying works, because you're probably thinking, well, if he's not taxidermied, how is he freeze dried if they still have to cremate some of his remains? Anything wet in an animal before they're freeze dried is removed and replaced. So Animal Family Pet Preservation, who I'm working with, explained it. They said anything removed from the animal is replaced, but his skin, fur, everything about him, his muscles and bone structure are all still intact. Taxidermy is not so forgiving, so I will educate in all of that at the end. But his due date is only in a few days, and I am so excited for him to come home. I am so excited. I can't wait to show all of you guys all the art that has been commissioned, or people who have donated things to display in his cabinet. I can't wait to show everything. And I spoke to Soren, the girl with Loki Cat, who introduced me to freeze drying, and so many others. She had suggested the remaining money, which about 300 of it will go to the rental just to pick him up. The rest of it, which is like what, 1,200, should be donated. So I'm thinking if you guys have a charity, we could donate it together, maybe in the video once I document Munchkin. What the heck is that noise? Ew, it's like a buzzing. I don't like it. Anyway, but as far as Munchkin goes, I'm still waiting on the text message for him to come home. I did get an update text message from the owner, and she said she was petting Munchkin's belly last Saturday, meaning that he's out of the dryer and getting worked on to finish his prep, which I am so excited about. So he's almost ready to come home. So after they come out of the dryer, they have to sit for like a week, and then they do like sealing of the eyes and like just any brushing or grooming of the animal. And then I get to go pick him up, and it's gonna be a big surprise, and I can't wait to film all of it, because you guys have given me a second chance. And again, I am so filled with gratitude. I still can't believe in my life that so many people came to help me. Absolute insanity. That you guys just took the burden off of me, and you were able to give me my baby back to care for him even after in death. So thank you for that, family. But with that being said, that's pretty much my life update. This summer was really difficult. I'm really happy for my kids and happy that they're liking school so much so far. Our summer was very dull. We did manage to go to the beach, but that's another thing. When we went to the beach, literally, I was in these waves, right? And I am fighting for my life in these fucking waves. Like, and then I gotta tell you guys real quick. And I'm wondering, I'm like, why are these waves so damn strong? Like, I'm getting whipped around. I'm wearing an old pair of glasses because God knows I would have lost them. I'm like, whoa. And it turns out I didn't know, because I don't live near the ocean. I'm on the East Coast. I'm like 5 hours from Ocean City and about 7 hours from Virginia Beach. We went to Virginia and the water was like bath water. It was so nice. But when you get in the water, you're like getting ripped around. And you find out, like, I never knew on lifeguard chairs they always have the flags, but I didn't know they had meanings. So after I get out, after like getting destroyed, and I got stung by a jellyfish too on the back of my thigh. I get stung like every year. You can see the stripes going down my leg. They're just box jellyfish. They're not. So the sting is very mild. It stings. Or they're nettles. The one I got stung with this year is a nettle, but the previous years, you just pick the little pieces off from the sting. So I get out and I see this flag and it's like, water is dangerous, riptides. And I'm getting swung like left and right, getting like smacked under the waves, like shit that I didn't even know water could do. It's just so funny, right? So then I had 2 YouTube family members drive 30 minutes into Virginia Beach inland to meet me. And if you guys want to see the photo, it's on my Instagram. It's on my Facebook too. Please go see it. It's hilarious. I'm literally like Slight Sounds ASMR. She's hilarious. She messaged me the emoji of the one girl just standing there like I gave these people who came to see me 30 minutes, like the worst power stance photo to ever be created. I'm like just getting killed in these waves, and the moment I get out, like they come and it's so funny. You guys have to see this photo. But yeah, summer, like the beach was nice. We were able to go to our local water park, which is literally 25 minutes away, called Idlewild. Very cheap, but this summer was awful, you guys. It really was a bad summer. So especially I'm trying to accept going blind. Like, it's very difficult not to see. It's very difficult when you have your daily vision. I already have eye prescription. That's what this is. It's very difficult just giving that up. So if you've stuck around this long and you've made it to the bottom of the video, go ahead and comment the power stance emoji. I don't care which one you do, just the one of like a boy or a girl or whatever, just because that is me and it's so funny. You guys gotta see this photo. But if you've made it, please comment the emoji down below, and know that if nobody's told you that they loved you today, know that I love you. And this may or may not be the last time you see me until Munchkin comes home. I filmed up until the 17th every other day, but I'm kind of slowing down now. I'm kind of backing out of that promise, guys. I'm losing it. But I love you with all of my person, and I'll see you